Boris Johnson has been urged to walk away from post-Brexit trade talks with the EU in light of French President Emmanuel Macron's fresh demands at the 11th hour, with 98% of voters in a poll saying it was time to scrap negotiations. Mr. Macron threw a spanner into the works on Thursday when he said the terms of any free trade deal would have to be overseen by a robust independent regulator. A UK government source warned the chances of a deal were fast receding as Brussels tabled new elements in talks just 4 weeks from the Brexit transition deadline. Express conducted a poll asking if the last-minute demands from the French were enough to walk away from the negotiating table. The overwhelming majority said it was time for the Prime Minister to turn his back on the EU's negotiating team, led by Michel Barnier. 98% of readers who took part, 14,110, said Mr. Johnson should walk, while only 2%, 309, said he should continue negotiating. Just 43 people, less than 1%, said they didn't know. In comments, many readers said Mr. Johnson should have already called it a day and departed the negotiations to prepare for a no-deal exit. One person said, "Stand up, Boris. Straight backbone, turn your heel and walk, head held high. You did everything you could, much more than necessary, but that's the British way. Walk." Another put the blame for the crumbling talks solely on the shoulders of Mr. Macron. The person wrote, "Macron is one of 27 leaders of the EU. He seems to think that he is head honcho. He is a little man with a big mouth, who has lots of problems of his own in France. It is about time someone put him in his box." And yet a third person who voted the stay in the EU in the 2016 referendum said they would rather see a hard Brexit happen. They said, "I voted Remain, but if anyone thinks this so-called trade deal is good news is deluded. A deal, where the UK effectively has no say over the future rules of trade, is hardly taking back control. In fact, it is worse control-wise than what we had when we were in the EU. The UK should be either fully in the EU, or fully outside the EU. There is no compromise half in half out position."